Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to the final stream of Season 11 of Virtual Sim Leagues, and we got a rerun of the Tier 2 Brazil 100% race, double points, and still the championship still to be decided, so a lot to play for here. My name is Jess, my first time commentating on Tier 2. We got Mike in the background, just making sure things are okay. But joining me in the commentary box is Tier 2 league commentator, the first time I'm ever commentating with him. We've got Rando. Rando, welcome in. How you doing?
Well, for once I'm actually able to be here because, well, actually, my system's not working as usual, but since we're streaming through Discord, I can actually attend for once. But yeah, we're finally here. It is D-Day in the championship for Yuli Show and Kevroski. One of them will become champion tonight after a 100% race in Brazil, which hopefully won't get impromptu interrupted due to a PSN network like last time. But yeah, it's just going to be no qualifying tonight, straight up racing, reverse championship grid. So Kevroski and Yuli Show have to cut through the field in order to win the championship. It's something Yuli Show became accustomed to early stages anyway in the championship. He tended to start at the back and find a way to win. So it's not foreign for him. Kevroski, it's a bit more foreign to him. He's used to starting at the front, being a strong qualifier. But 71 laps to come, and we will see what is to come.
Yes, we do, and we've got the standings up on your screen. So it is a 17-point gap between Kevroski and Yuli Show. 213 points, Yuli Show's 196. And double points are on offer, so the winner gets 50 points. So that means pretty much realistically, there's certain drivers that still could realistically be in the fight. Stephen being one of them, if the top two have a bit of a mare. So Yuli Show on 196, Stephen on 176, Acorn on 152, joint with Ryan Berry as well. And we've got Yuri on 96, Matt Ryan on 89, Ahmed on 77, and JP on 68. So those are your overall driver standings, and we're going to be going through all the permutations throughout the night to make sure that things are all hunky-dory and you all know who's going to do well, because even I don't know at times as well. But yeah, last week, of course, obviously, it was Las Vegas. It was meant to be the championship finale before PSN happened with Brazil, but it was quite an interesting one. Obviously, you weren't here, but all the things that happened last week, that's what's caused the championship to still be quite close getting into Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually pulled it a bit. It was a 3-point gap going into Vegas, but Yuli Show having misfortune, and for once after having misfortune, he was unable to recover from it. And Kevroski taking a P2 meant instead of having a 3-point deficit, he has a 17-point lead. So, but yeah, as has happened many times, there could be a twist. Of course, Yuli Show just needs to win and Kevroski to be P3 or lower to take the championship due to double points permutations. So it's not all said and done if it was regular point format anyway. It's definitely a more open championship. A bit out of it is Stephen. He will probably need the front two DNF and himself to win to take the championship, and I think that's it, unless Acorn wins by the fastest lap and everyone just decides to call it a night early days. So that's the situation with the championship. We're just waiting for everyone to ready up. 12 drivers on the grid tonight, more than we've had the previous races, fortunately. It's kind of gone downhill since Miami, unfortunately, but Miami, we kind of just decided to forget about Miami.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Miami in either tier, to be honest, because I think both of them was it was alright. Tier 1 was not so bad, but I couldn't imagine what happened in Tier 2. I think there was quite a bit of chaos. It was chaos in Tier 1 last season, where there was like, all the season before, when there was like loads of safety cars and a lot of people crashing and stuff like that. But before we got to the red flag situation in Brazil, it was shaping up to be great races for both tiers. In Tier 2, I remember there was a safety car. I think there was like 1 or 2 safety cars. I'm sure Mike could back me up on text chat on Discord if that's the case. But are we going to get some potential safety cars again tonight? And since they have a second chance, what can the drivers who are going to be starting in the back do to maybe improve on before the PSN issues happened?
Well, to answer your question about will there be a safety car? Probably. Will there be multiple safety cars? Also probably. This track, even though it's an open enough track, it does breed safety cars because of how fast and tight it is. You do definitely get incidents. And since there was 4 safety cars in Bahrain, and the track that doesn't breed safety cars, I can definitely assure there will be safety cars here tonight. I don't think we've had a race yet to have a safety car, but we're about to get underway. Formation lap going, so reverse championship grid. Jack Craig being a reserve will take pole position. M Excited P2, Tony third, N89 fourth, J Pedro fifth, Speed Y Racer in sixth, Acorn seventh, M Ryan eighth, O Steven ninth, Kev Rusky 10th, and Yuli Show 11th. Lewis Craig is reserve. I keep mixing up the two Craigs. But we've had an incident at the front, unfortunately.
It would help if I was not on mute. So the drivers at the bottom of the championship, wow, they both got disqualified, so they must have hit each other somewhere, which was a bit annoying. But a bit about this track: 9 miles from the city centre of Sao Paulo, was a racing circuit back in the 1920s. The circuit was opened in 1940. The original circuit was 7.960 kilometres. And the circuit was renamed back in 1985 to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, which is a Brazilian Formula 1 driver who died in a plane crash in 1977. In 1990, the circuit was shortened to 4.325 kilometres, and the track that we know and love today is 4.309 kilometres, and it has 15 turns, a couple of DRS zones to boot as well. I would say difficult part of the circuit, Ferradura, turn 6 and 7, and Pico de Pato heading towards turn 10, but every part of the circuit can be difficult. Interestingly, we got 3 drivers on the softs. Everyone else has gone for mediums, but Matt Ryan is the outlier here, Randa, and he's gone for the hards.
Yeah, interesting strategy. Of course, full distance race means there's going to be probably 2 or 3 stops. It's not nailed on one stop. There's actually more strategy involved here. But yeah, there's always tends to be one who goes a bit different. M. Ryan's going to go long, hope for a later safety car after the others pit and take advantage of that. Could he be trialing a one stop potentially? Only time will tell. You're assuming multiple stops for the likes of Jack Craig, M. Excited, and Lewis Craig. But last couple cars are lining up on the grid, and we will get those 5 famous lights, and we will get underway in Brazil. Of course, the front 2 will be a bit compromised due to the formation lap disqualification, but we got 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are almost away in Brazil. Now we are away in Brazil, and MXI's got a brilliant start. He's going to look at the inside line into turn 1, but it's actually bogged down second line, so Jack Craig will maintain that lead. Wheel to wheel between Tony and Speedway Racer, but it's looking all clean. Someone's gone off in the back there, actually. I think that's NA9 has gone off slightly. Kavrovsky seems to have the better start then Yuli Show, but everyone's still pointing the right way after the first couple corners. Coming up to turn 4, MXI will keep his lead. Actually, he's taking the lead. Actually, you missed that.
Yeah, Michelle was taking the lead there. And Tony down the inside into Ferradura and towards turn 6. Nicely moved on there as well. Yuri's had a good start as well, up into third. So there's a lot of moving positions at the moment. Jack Craig, by the way, he started on pole and he's up to 4th place. So he is struggling a little bit, trying to adapt him starting at the front. But just look at the gap that the Mercedes driver is pulling away. I can't tell what the gap is because the game has decided to be like, no, you're not telling me the gap, Jess, which is very annoying. But all we know is everybody else is quite close. Tony P in second, Yuri in third. Our championship protagonists, well, we got Kevin 8th, who's ahead of Julie Show at the moment. They seem to be still moving their way up the order so far. But yeah, Michelle definitely getting this race off to a great start, but we've still got a long way to go. Double points, 100% race. They could be on for a 2-stop strategy. Hopefully they'll manage their tyres better than what we saw the Mercedes do in real life.
Yeah, interesting. So I'm assuming Jack Craig just had a poor run off turn 3 and that just compromised him. but everyone's still running. I think Jay Pedro had an issue through Ferradura this turn 6. I think it's Ferradura turn 6. I
Yes, it
kind of
is.
forget the corner. I kind of mix them up. I just know their English translation. One is called the Duck Spill, which I love. But MXI's got a great start, got used to those soft tires. He's looking to build as much of a gap as he can in these early stages. And then hopefully pit into clean air just to increase his gap. But yeah, fortunately, all clean at the start. Bit wheel to wheel action going on the downhill turn. I actually can't speak Portuguese, so I forget the names of the turns because I only know them in English for some reason. But they're coming up now to complete lap 2 of 71. Of course, we have to remember it's a long race, so a lot of management's going to happen here. You can see that yellow light on some of the cars' fuel icons, which means they have on the field, so there'll be some lift and coasting here, but they'll probably be banking on some safety cars here to help them. But I think we've got some moves for the championship leader, Kev Rusky, looking to put as many cars between him and Yuli Show in these early stages, fine with Acorn, another of the top contenders, but not in the championship fight. But Kev Rusky gets that position and puts 2 cars between him and Yuli Show, which is all he can do. Acorn trying to fight him back though through Ferradura. Might send one into turn 7, but doesn't, so that's why no lap. But we have DRS now because we're on lap 3.
Yes, DRS is enabled, of course. Don't forget, Deck still has an outside chance of winning the championship. They just need... Oh, what's happened there? We got Lewis Craig that's had a bit of an off there. JP has got past him in that regard as well. But yeah, don't forget, Stephen and Deck still have a decent chance of winning, but they will need the other two just to have an absolute rubbish race in order for that to happen. But you never know with double points, anything can happen, but they have to win this race. As Yuri, by the way, goes down the inside of Tony, up into second place, but Tony tries to get the cut back there as well. And we missed the fight between Deck and Kev once again. This is the fight we got to see, the 2-3 championship protagonists, as Deck tries to cover off Kev once again, and it looks like he's going to do it through the seat of the Largo. Yes, he does, as he's up into P6, but let's see if Kev is going to get a good run through turn 5. That is, the descent from the lake is the seat of the Largo, by the way. Past Ferradura and into the curve, I'm not going to pronounce that corner, the little orange curve of turn 7. And then you're going to be heading towards Pico de Pato very, very soon, which, like I said, it's the most difficult corner on the circuit. It's nice and sunny at the moment in Brazil, but like we saw in qualifying in real life, we know things can take a turn for the worse. But things are looking clean so far between Kev, Julie Show, and Matt Ryan. But as things stand, if Kev finishes where he is, he will be champion, because the gap between obviously Deck and Kev is not going to be enough, unfortunately. Matt Ryan trying to get a move past Julie Show, which is not going to help Julie Show's championship chances as he goes around the outside in towards turn number 1. Can he make the move stick? We'll keep an eye on other drivers as well, because we've got Tony catching up to Jack Craig, but looks like Matt Ryan has got past Julie Show. Lewis Craig is looking like he's going to try and gain position soon as well, but Julie Show's going to fight back in towards turn 4 and 5. The Cine de Largo, can he get the position back from the Red Bull driver? Yes, he can. He's up to 9th spot.
Racing there by Yuli Show, slowly taking his time. This is what he usually does anyway. He takes his time for getting the moves done. It tends to be towards the end of the race where Yuli Show puts himself in those 4 positions. Nice wheel to wheel actually for a P10 right now between M. Ryan and Lewis Craig for this difficult sector. A bit of a lock up there, I think, from M. Ryan there, which lets Lewis Craig get that P10 position off the Red Bull and puts him into the points, which are now worth 2. As up at the front, Stephen and Tony having a bit of a battle. Stephen seems to have slightly gone off the track there, or off kilter, as he came from an awkward angle. Meanwhile, Kevin Acorn still having this fight here. Kev looks to have that P6. He's looking to get in that DRS, very close to DRS. I think he might just have this on Tony, which will definitely aid his chance to keep this position on Acorn. One of the most difficult parts about Interlagos is if you make a move into turn 1, you're more likely to lose it again into turn 4. As wheel between Jack and Stephen. Stephen up into the podium. Actually, no, he's defending the podium from Jack Craig. Jack Craig making good use of those softs Meanwhile, another driver making good use of those softs is M Excited, who has a 4.4 second lead at the front, so he's loving life right now. And a lot of drivers very close together. A bit of a gap between Yuri and Osipa for P2. So once again, Yuri just doing his own race like he tends to. He tends to find himself in his own like little pocket, wherever that be, towards the front or towards the back. He tends to always just find himself some open space, which is an impressive skill, so he doesn't have to get caught in all the action. But yeah, we're about a tenth of the way through. A lot can and probably will happen as this race unfolds further along. So most drivers are within DRS. Yulisho puts himself off into P8, but dive by Acorn down the inside to keep that position. P8, someone spun actually there. I think it's Jay Pedro who spun off turn 1.
Yep, it is.
Looks to have kept his wing, so we won't get a safety car intervention. Fortunately, I don't think he made contact with the wall, so that's just a spin rather than any damage. But still, either way, it's frustrating for him. But it's not a position for Yuli Show anyway, and Kev just have more points at a tally, but still, Kev just staying ahead of Yuli Show, which is what he needs to win this championship. Just be close to him anyway. Because the higher up they go, the more nervy he gets for Kev, because he knows just the points gap increases when you get higher up, especially towards the front. So nerves will have to be playing a factor. As another yellow flag, the sector I think is Jay Pedro again, as Tony is the first to get himself up time penalty, and Jay Pedro's had enough. His season is done on lap 7.
Yep, done and dusted for the Haas man. A bit of a shame. Carly sitting in P10 in the standings, but no safety car, of course. And we could see some DRS moves being made at the moment. Kev's just being very, very patient. And we're looking at those soft tyres. They're about 4 tenths quicker than the memes to start with. But halfway through the stint, that's when the softs really start to die down and the memes become the viable option. As you can see, Kev trying to go down the inside, into the city of the Largo, in through the lakes. And he's up into 5th spot. No, it's descent from the lake, not to the lakes. My bad, as we got another time penalty for Ahmed there in P11. Now, with one person retiring, obviously they will be scoring more than 1 point, which is great to see. Don't forget, it's double points, so 12th place would get 2 points. Plus the 2 points for fastest lap as well. Plus the additional points if we finish 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the America's Cup as well. Yes, we got to keep that into consideration as well. The gap between Kev, Julie Show and Deck in the America's Cup, it's around about 20 points. And if you win the regional championship, you get an additional 15 points, which could make or break the championship. So obviously if Kev stays ahead, then nobody else needs to worry. But it looks like Kev is making his way through the field quite comfortably. And he's going to try and get past Jack Craig down the inside. Lovely job. Oh, and there's also Julie Show trying to follow the line as well. There's a bit of a squirm from Tony as well in that Ferrari. And Jack's like, nope, you're not going to have that position, Missy. And he takes V4 back from Kev. Deck's down to 7th. Julie Show follows Kev through and he's up into 6th place. There's just so much going on through the City of the Largo currently, but I'm watching Kev's EOS and he's burned a lot already, and we're already on lap 9.
He's burning it through the corners, I'm noticing, which
weird.
Very I think he just permanently has it on, actually. It's very interesting. There might be an issue his way. It's not something I've noticed before, but he still has it on. It may be stuck on. But now Kev and Yulisho are together. Yulisho's just that bit closer to his championship rival. Needs to get ahead of him and open a bit of a gap, but there's Jack Craig in the way. Another 3-second time penalty for Tony, which is not needed. DRS is over, impeding is Jack Craig, so that gives Yulisho a free one. He's going to pull out the inside try into turn 1, and he gets that position. He is ahead of his championship rival right now, but he has a bit more work to do to seal this championship. Lewis Craig gets a 3-second time penalty. Penalties are racking up right now, but Yulisho now happy to defend from Kevrovsky. Is Kevrovsky going to risk a dive into turn 4? No, thinks better of it. I think I have the issue.
Yeah, so I think the few guys are just being a bit patient, but the guys at the front, they're just definitely giving it their all, aren't they? We've got Jack Craig coming into the pit lane onto a set of softs, so he's not going to have any softs left if he's not careful, so they only get a decent amount of softs to use for the race, because don't forget, we've not had qualifying since it was decided by reverse championship order. So he thinks he's going to try and climb his way through the field once everybody pits. And I can't remember how much the pit lane loss is around this track. I will need to do a bit of research on that. But Excite still leads 5.2 seconds over Yuri in second. Stephen, who still has an outside chance of the championship, in third spot. As we can see, Deck and Kev still fighting away for P5. Deck's not giving up without a fight, and he's using his teammate for good measure. But Kev's like, nope, you're not having any of that. And Kev's got that position back from Matt Ryan. So Kev's back up into sixth, but he's lost the position from Deck doing that. I wonder if we could see Matt Ryan helping out his teammate a little bit for the championship. I think it's going to be harder for the Alpines because both the Alpine drivers are in the championship fight because it is double points. If it wasn't double points, only Julie Show would be. But since it is double points, both of them would be. So I think it's going to be harder for them to work as a team a little bit because they both want the same outcomes as each other. But if I was Steven, Julie Show has a better chance, so maybe help him. But the gap's still quite close. It's about 20 points between those two as well. So anything can happen. So at the moment, it's just every man for themselves. But for the Red Bulls, they could use this as an advantage because one driver is definitely out of the championship of Matt Ryan. And with Deck still in it, Matt Ryan could help his teammate a little bit, which is exactly what he done on the last lap.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's only so much that M. Ryan can do, just due to Acorn's position being well off kilter, as M. Ryan's going to do his best to get ahead of Kev Roski, who's Craig almost sends one in. There's got to be that bit of risk for, Kev and Yulisha when fighting. If they get spun, that could be game over for them. So they might be a bit more cautious when it comes to the move, and Lewis Craig is hoping that's the case because he is definitely trying to get some moves done on Kev Roski, and he's kind of, I think, just expecting Kev to be a bit complacent on moves being put on him. But the more cars overtake Kev, the more likely it is for Yulisho to take this championship. At the moment, Kev will still have it, but if he keeps letting cars by him, it could be a bit of nerves playing through him. So I don't know. We still got over 50 laps to come, so a lot more to happen. He could let people get ahead and let incidents happen potentially, but you never know what's going to be the right decision in a race like this.
Yes, indeed. It's still liking it's being very sunny at the moment, but we are starting to see the medium runners just getting a little bit of a feel a bit more compared to the softs, but Lewis is not going to give up without a fight as Matt Ryan and Kev fight once again. Kev this time goes to the inside line. Hardly any ERS, but does he care? No, he wants to fight for this championship, so he's going to do all he can to make sure the title goes to him and the Aston Martin team. And Matt Ryan is not going to give up without a fight either. He's in a sandwich between Kev and Lewis Craig. Don't forget, Lewis Craig does have that time penalty as well. Who remembers, of course, many memorable moments around the Brazilian Grand Prix where we saw is that Glock moment with Lewis Hamilton taking the title in 2008. There was chaos in the rain back in 2003, which was one of my favourite Brazil races because it was absolute chaos. And Vizcarra got the win that day. And the initial decision to award Kimi Raikkonen the win was overturned. So then Vizcarra got the win again. It was that confusing. We didn't even know who was going to get the win until the FIA. I think one of the first ever things in a while where it was decided by the stewards' room and even the court. So imagine if it could have done that for any other race. I don't know. But anyway, Julie Show catching up to Stephen. I apologise to Stephen, by the way, who I missed out when I was talking about the championship earlier. But he's still in this. But he's still going to fight his teammate, or is he going to let him through? Well, he didn't really fight that much, did he?
I think he's let him through. So I think Stephen is kind of just in the position of only way I can win this championship is if you DNF, so I'll let you do your own race. So maybe good team play
Yep.
at Alpine, just try and do the double, as they definitely have the constructor seal this at this stage, I think. I'd be surprised if they have it. They basically had it sealed after Miami, which is the race we don't talk about. But that race, he particularly the Alpine looked to definitely have a seal, had like a 120-point gap. So I'd be surprised if they haven't had it sealed. But yeah, Yulisho up into the podium now. A lot of field spread happening at the moment. Kwiatkowski looking to get ahead of Aikman. That's the close foul on track at the moment. Should be an easy move for him, as is DRS on the Aston Martin, but no DRS on the Red Bull. Did we see this before? An Aston Martin overtaking a Red Bull. I mean, it was lap 71 compared to lap 15, but we still need to talk about that Fernando Alonso move, and we'll talk about it till the end of time. But Kwiatkowski now up to P5. Just making sure he's on Yulisho's screen anyway, on that timing screen anyway, just to let him know that you still have a bit more work to do to seal this championship. I'm going to make you work for it if you're going to win it. But timing-wise, there's 6 seconds between them, but position-wise, it's only 2, which means it's enough for a yellow flag. And I think it's M. Ryan, actually, who's had a spin off Ferradura, possibly hit the curb, or maybe there's an instance, an awkward place to spin because of the downhill nature, and the grass also a very awkward place to recover. But he's back on track, but he's out in last now, so that's hurt his race massively. He'll need a safety car to bring himself back into it.
Yeah, and I'm quite surprised actually that we haven't had a safety car yet. But strange things have happened in Tier 2 and in Tier 1, believe it or not, as well. So he can still go back in. He's only 1.5 seconds behind Jack Craig. So technically he's still fighting for this as well. And by the way, just an update for you. Tony goes for a move on Lewis Craig down the inside, this time into Turn 1. But I wonder if Lewis is going to go for it this time around, because he has a DRS going towards Turn 4. So here he comes into the Sea of the Largo. Is he going to do it? Nope, he's going to save some battery. He's got plenty of battery in his back pocket, so he's just going to save it for now. And Ahmed's still in this fight as well, so this is going to be interesting as well. Who is better at saving battery around Brazil and who is not? I'm looking at Ahmed's battery. He's looking fine. Pretty much most people are looking fine at the moment. I think even Kev has saved quite a bit more as well. So I'm guessing he has been fighting that much now, so he's been able to save a little bit. Julie Show.
He almost spun off Jun Chao. His car was sideways. I'd say that was a bit of a hard mouth moment for him. But, you know, he had a decent gap between him and the rest, so I don't think anyone else will know about that half spin he's just had. But he's still going straight. But that just shows that, you know, at any moment it can go from yeah. Tony's into the pits now. First the medium runners to pit, looking for an undercut here potentially.
Yes, an early undercut.
On the softs.
Yeah, he goes on the softs. Not the first person to go on the softs, because don't forget Jack Craig did that, but he had to pit, I believe, for damage. So he's going for something different, which I like different strategies, I have to say. And you can start to see the medium runners closing in on Excite quite a bit. The gap was 5 seconds, now it's 4.4. So I think if I was Michelle right now, I would come in the next few laps, maybe to cover off Tony potentially. Would he go on softs, or would he go on mediums, or would he try and stay out and hope for a early safety car, because it could still happen? So he's just going to think on his feet a little bit, learn his lessons from the last Brazil race. He stayed out, so he's going to try and stretch them for a little bit longer, because don't forget, it's a 100% race. It can go longer than a 50% race. We know in real life it went 24, 25 laps. Lewis Hamilton did in the sprint race and in the feature race as well, but it didn't go down very well because of tyre temps. But Michelle has increased the gap. He's probably watching listen to the stream, thinking, "Oh, you think people can close down on me? Nah, I'm gonna try and increase the gap for you," which he has done. So great job on him so far. But nothing much is happening after that, apart from Deck slightly closing in on Kev right now. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the good thing
I hope you guys can hear us at the moment. Apologise about that. The stream died because my computer decided to have a little bit of a hissy fit and it decided to crash. So, first time that's happened in a while. Hopefully Rando or Mike can confirm if the stream is live. That would be great. Or if anyone in the chat.
Good.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, apologies about that, everybody. First time this happened in a while. It said it was out of memory, apparently, which is weird.
Unfortunately, I've infected Jess with whatever disease I have that causes any appliance you have to spontaneously combust when you're about to go live.
Exactly.
So, apologies for that. But I'm excited to causeway through the field nicely anyway. We've had no one else pit since, due to everyone else being out on mediums. Lewis Craig still braving it out on the softs, being 21 laps. Old Yuli Show regaining on speed of race. A minor mistake on his end dropped him about a second, but he's back in DRS of the McLaren, looking to take the lead, which, as things stand, might win the championship. It'll be close. It's, of course, you have to expect MXI will maintain the lead, just how rapid he's running through this field at the moment. Like a bit of a wheel dipped into the grass there for Yuli Show, so that's going to be a bit of a nervy moment, as that definitely had to kink the car a small bit to the left. But he's gaining quickly. He won't be in a position to go for the move now, but if he gets a good run through the Senna S's, he might have a chance. Kevrovsky's pit. He's made a strategy move in this championship. Anyway, he's pitted first. And Yulicho seeing that, so he's burning the ERS to take the lead. He'll move up into the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix on lap 23. And now we have a strategy game. Will Yulicho react to Kevrovsky pitting, or is he going to go different on the strategy? Of course, we don't know what his original strategy plan was, but put Kevrovsky pitting now. He's pitting onto the softs. I'm not sure if Yulicho will know that yet, if Kevrovsky's pitting the softs. Yeah, we're now about to see how the strategy game is going for this finale. About if Yulicho's going to copy what Kevrovsky does, or if he's going to go different. Of course, it's Yulicho who has to beat Kevrovsky by 18 or more points to solidify this championship. So he needs to go different probably. We'll see about now as they're coming up to the pit lane, and he will stay out. So he's going longer. That is his strategy game. He's like, you can pit and enjoy those soft tires. They'll eventually get a bit of wear on them and become slower. I'll go a bit longer. I like my medium tires. I think there's still some decent pace in them. I'll go a bit longer, and I'll decide from there what I do with my strategy. Of course, now Kevrovsky's got to pit again, definitely, because those softs will not go to the end of the race. There's 47 laps to go. So we'll be seeing Kevrovsky into pits again. Yulicho can do this on a one stop if he goes for the hards. If he stretches out to about that 30 to 35, he can go on the hards and finish from there. So we'll see what the strategy game is going to be. But a lot haven't pitted yet on the mediums. Because Craig's proving those softs can go a long distance anyway. 23 laps on those. Third race distance on those tires. So that's an impressive feat for his end. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really made up for position. He's stuck in sixth with a couple penalties, so that's going to hurt him. But could he be trying a one-stop here? The thinking is, if I can do a third race distance on softs, how long can I go in the mediums or the hards? So he might be going for one stop, as Yulicho's actually pitted. So I'm actually interestingly surprised about that. He's decided to do 2 laps more after an extended by a lot. What's he pinning onto though?
He's going on to mediums.
Mediums. So he's forced to pit again. It's not like it's pitting again for the sake of getting new tires. He has to pit again because he needs to run 2 different compounds. So I'm assuming, going to be a medium soft strategy for him. We'll see where he comes out in relation to Kevrovsky. He will have a bit of a gap to Kevrovsky anyway. Maintains the position on him. Kevrovsky stuck behind Yulicho at the moment. Yulicho Tony, who gets ahead of him quickly. Makes it easy for cover. Next up on the road is NA9, who hasn't pitted yet, so again should be an easy enough move for him. But the gap is about a bit over 5 seconds between two. Actually, might be seconds. No, 5 seconds between Yuli Show and Kevrovsky, but it's not time difference we need to be key about. It's positional difference, but a lot of mixed strategies here. So take time to see the true form of this race, as Yuli Show is second out of those who have pitted. He'll have the position of Speedway Racer by the looks of things, and Speedway Racer having that penalty will hurt him. Kevrovsky needs to get a bit more time. He's got to have his teammate. Actually, I forgot 89 was actually his teammate, so of course that'll be an easy move for him, because we thought they were asking my teammate. So Kevrovsky needs to get about another second and a half just to get the position of Speedway Racer and get himself that much closer to Kevrovsky. He's now got Jack Craig to deal with. Jack Craig, we know he's been a bit racy. He's been racy this race. I'm not sure if I'm mixing up with Lewis Craig, but he's been racy, definitely. But an easy move for Kevrovsky up to P6. Now, next car in front of him is his rival, Yuli Show. 4 seconds to bridge, though.
Yes, and we know the pit lane lost around here about 22, 23 seconds. We saw that with Excite earlier on in the race, and he's already caught up to Yuri in front then. So it shows how powerful the undercut can be. And with Julie Show on the memes, he can stretch those memes a little bit longer. So even though the softs will last quite a bit, and Kev will start to close in about 3 tenths a lap, Julie Show's got the upper hand in terms of durability, and he could possibly hope for a late safety car, or he can have the ability to go on to softs until the end. We saw that in real life, of course, with the varying strategies for some of the drivers. Nobody in real life actually went for the hard compounder tyres. So it shows how difficult it is in real life. But in the game, it's a lot easier. Only Matt Ryan has gone onto the hards, and he's last at the moment, but he did have that spin. So Tony has got past Ahmed up into 9th spot currently as well. We're almost approaching half race distance at the moment. Thank you to those of you that are watching and sticking with us at the moment. Make sure you leave us a like and hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell when you are new. The F2 Cup Series League will be starting next week, I believe. Same time, same place, and make sure you stay tuned in for that, because I think we almost got a full grid, but I will have to double check on that one, as I think Michelle is going to get past Yuri this time around in towards turn number 1 down the inside. Surely it's going to be an easy move for the Mercedes driver. Yes, Yuri didn't have to fight for that one. He's got the fresher rubber, softer rubber as well, and he's your race leader. Julie Show, though, this is a crucial move for him in terms of whether he wants to stay ahead of Kev. So Julie Show up into 4th spot ahead of Kev Rusky. And that's going to be interesting, as Tony down the inside this time of Jack Craig. There's a lot of moves going on at the moment. Tony's on fresher soft, so that was an easy move for him. But Tony does have that time penalty to bear in mind, so he's got to be careful to keep those penalties on the down low.
Yeah, so what I've actually noticed is a lot of people are underfueled at the moment, probably expecting a safety car anyway, and that means they're going to have to do some lift and coast here to make it to the end, unless there's a safety car. But apart from J Petrol's spin, there's been no real risk of a safety car. 11 drivers left. Brazil, you only really get early safety cars in Brazil. You rarely get later on safety cars, especially in the game. In real life, the later safety cars tend to happen due to mechanical issues. Think of like Valtteri Bottas in 2019 or Lando Norris last year. And then we had another safety car in 2019 due to the safety car packing up the grid. So at the moment, it doesn't look like we'll have a safety car, which is going to hurt those low on fuel and could that decide the championship potentially, as we have NA9 into the pits of the mediums. See what he goes on for. Still 3 drivers to pit in this race. BY Racer, Acorn, and M. Ryan yet to make their trip to the pit stops. Oh, Stephen has a pit either. So 4 drivers yet to make their trip to the pits. Yeah, more pitting will happen, obviously. Yuli Show forced to pit again, and most drivers will probably pit again just due to the tyre wear.
Yeah, because we saw how difficult it was in real life. So if these drivers don't pit again, I'll be very surprised. I doubt that those tyres will get to the end of the race quite comfortably. If they want to get the optimum pace on the tyres, they will be pitting one more time. That's what I would do if I was in that 100% race. It is the finale after all. For some people not in the championship fight, they'll be giving it their all. As Julie Show goes for the move on his teammate Stephen quite easily, as he's now in third spot and a net P2, which I think is very, very key. Bearing in mind double points, I'm going to get the points up on my other monitor just so I can have roughly an idea as to how many scores, what points. But it would help if I had the right folder with me, so I will keep an eye on that at some point. But yeah, Julie Shot up into third. If he is where he is now, he would score 36 points. And if Kev is where he is now, he would score, 24 points. So 36 minus 24, that'll be 12. So that still won't be enough for Julie Show to claim that title at the moment. Bearing in mind it's the America's Cup as well. We have to find out who's wearing the America's Cup to find out who will claim the overall championship as well, because that could be a massive deciding factor as well. But there we go. So when will the likes of Yuri pit? Well, Stephen's going to pit now, so he gets his stop out of the way. I won't be surprised if Deck's deciding to break the status quo and he stays out.
Yeah, a lot of different strategies are performing here. You see very few drivers on similar lap times on similar tires, so everyone has their own opinion on what is the quickest way to get 71 laps done around here. And it'll only be time to tell until we figure out who's got the best strategy for this. But you're thinking at this stage, the likes of Speedway Racer and Acorn will probably be trying to one-stop here. They'll probably pit onto a hard set tires very soon. Do half distance on mediums, half distance on hards. Of course, that's just my opinion. They could be thinking of doing something completely different. For all I know, they could toss up full wets. And I mean, yeah, there could be rain, but usually you can tell early on if there'll be rain depending on how the drivers are doing the strategy. It's different with a 100% race, but the drivers will know if there's rain or not expected. Doesn't look like anyway. Look in the cloud. It's mainly blue with patches of white. There is no apocalyptic looking cloud like we had on Friday in Brazil, which has led to some very nice edits on TikTok, I will not lie. But no one fouling at the moment. It's just people trying to gain on other drivers. I think next battle we'll see forming will probably be Jack Craig on M. Ryan, which should happen in a couple laps time. But nothing really forming at the moment. We're kind of in a low period right now as we approach half race distance.
Yeah, not surprised really. They're just getting a little bit into their flow. I was just, while she was speaking, sending Mike the point. So I think we've given Mike the unofficial role of permutations man. So he'll be keeping an eye on the points as it goes. And if it drastically changes, he will let us know. As it basically, if the likes of Julie Show, Stephen or Deck have a realistic chance of winning the championship, he will tell us. But at the moment, it looks like it's still going to go to Kev. So I'm going to do some maths here. First place gets 50 points tonight. Second place gets 40. Third place gets 36. Fourth place gets 30 points. Fifth place gets 24. Sixth gets 20. Seventh gets 16. Eighth gets 12. Ninth gets 10 points. 10th gets 8 points. 11 gets 4. And 12 gets 2 points. And then obviously 0, 0 is 0. So 13th and below, they won't get any points whatsoever. So, and don't forget, fastest lap inside the top 12 scores you 2 points. I'm not sure it's double points for that as well. I don't think it is. But again, I'll have to double check with Risky or Matt, who's watching the stream, or any admins that are watching the stream, is the fastest lap points worth 4 points or 2 points this race. So we know for permutation's sake. But Jack Cray, by the way, he almost got past Matt Ryan, but couldn't quite do so at the moment. But we're almost reaching the distance where if we were doing a 50% race, Michelle would win it. But obviously the soft tyres wouldn't go long in a 50% race, of course. As all looking very close for Jack Craig. Is looking very racy. And Yuri going to go into the pits right now. And I wonder what side he's going to go on. Let's go on board with him right now in his McLaren garage. Of course, Lando Norris getting P2 last weekend. Oh, that's interesting. He's on hards.
One stop. He's going for the one stop.
Very brave, but I can see why he wants to do it. He wants to get to the end. And he thinks the mediums won't make it. He's doing the opposite of what Matt Ryan's doing.
I mean, he couldn't put on the mediums for one stop anyway because he's on the mediums. But here comes Jack Craig on M. Ryan. They were close to touching off Jun Zhao. But I think Jack Craig has the move. Unless M. Ryan decides to fight that back. But on 33-lap-old hards, he's almost out of DRS through the ZS's alone compared to the 4-lap-old softs that Jack Craig has on his AlphaTauri. But we have O'Steven now looking at the back of Tony. Instead, now we actually have Lewis Craig looking at the back of Acorn. The action's now unfolding after we had a few laps of no pace. Jesus Christ, that almost could have been a safety car. Acorn spins off Miguelio and almost collects Lewis Craig, which almost would have definitely brought out a safety car and changed this race completely. But fortunately, he missed it. He's lost the position though, and a bit of time to Lewis Craig. He's gone into the pits. Those medium tires are done and dusted. O'Steven though puts Tony in the dust as he goes up into P6 now due to Acorn pitting. Tony's pitted also off for his second pit stop actually, so he's the first to go on to his second pit stop, which frees O'Steven and gives him a lovely bit of clean air in front of him. The racer pits into fifth also, which is going to be good for his strategy anyway,
Yes.
especially if he is committing to the one-stopper again. For the one-stopper to work, he'll need no safety car, but I think what will bear him is a late safety car after everyone else pits and he's in an optimal position, because if there's a late safety car, you're assuming everyone's going to come into the pits, because if you decide to stay out on a safety car, especially on a track where overtaking is possible, you are just going to see yourself dropped out of the field on used tires.
Excites in. So Wonder, he's going mediums.
I think he's covering off Speedway Racer.
Yeah, I think he is. Now, I think he may need to do one more stop. Mediums can last the rest of this race, but ultimately, it's going to be a bit of a push for the Mercedes driver. But he is looking like he's going to be favourite to win this race after taking the lead so early on and managing his soft tyres early on quite well. And, well, in his first stint when he pitted, and he also managed the mediums quite well as well. So I wonder if the medium stint for him is going to work out a lot better for the Mercedes driver. So he's in a third, but he's already catching to Kev, so that's going to be a huge threat, and he's covered Yuri quite nicely, in fact. So that just shows how big of a gap Michelle actually has. As Deck, by the way, gets back past Jack Craig up into 7th spot. He's also going for the one stop, and he even said in the chat earlier on he's going through Veradura. Oh, Jack Craig, that was a great move. We didn't see much moves going through there. I wonder if Deck is going to risk it for a chocolate biscuit as they head towards the technical sections of the circuit, past in towards Pico de Pato, which is quite tight and quite twisty. Now heading towards the final sector of turn 12, which is heading towards Juncao, through 13 and 14 now of Cida de Boxes, and I don't know what the Portuguese name for it, so I'm going to call it the bleachers, which is the English term for it. He's going to go for it, I think, through here. Here comes Deck in towards turn number 1. And I think he's got it. With hardly any ERS either. On the hards, he's doing better than someone on 7-lap-old softs. But Jack's not going to give up here. He's got... I think he's derating. He's on 0 ERS. He's on 0 ERS, but he's going to go for it anyway. Oh, he's going to go to the right-hand side of Deck in towards turn 4. This is the Largo in towards turn 5 now. No. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So, Deck on 2-lap-old hards. doing a better job than I'm expecting. So fair play to Deck.
Yeah, I think going back to I'm excited. I think he had like a 10-second gap. So I think even if his tires do wear off, he's had enough of a gap. His pace has been immaculate in this race. I think this race is set on for him unless he makes a mistake or there is a safety car. If this race runs green to the end, he should comfortably win this race, even if there is a tire fall off. But there is the risk of fuel. He's looking good at fuel at the moment, but I've noticed a lot of drivers are on yellow fuel, which means they are already below the limit, which means they'll have to do some lifting and coasting. And you can imagine that more will drop below unless they do some fuel management. So we could be seeing some drivers driving around in a car as fast as a Fiat towards the end when their fuel runs out. Because when your fuel runs out, you're better off just getting out of the car and walking to the finish line. It will go very slow.
Yes, I think it is a track where it can burn a bit of fuel if you are using some ERS, and all Deck's going to challenge Jack once again. We saw Jack challenging in the Cena de Largo as well, and we got Ahmed as well also in this fight as well. So don't forget, it is not the trolley train, this is the Deck train for P7 on the grid, as Kev
Is in.
is covering off our championship fight, but he's already lost a lot of time, so that's going to be huge championship wise. So ideally he wants to come out in a reasonable good position, but bearing in mind some drivers still yet to box, as Lewis 3-second time penalty, so another penalty. Fair play to ones who are keeping it clean, that being one of them, Stephen, MXI and Julie Show. So those 3 or 4 drivers keeping it clean with hardly any penalties. They may be on a few warnings though, so we'll keep an eye on that as it continues. So Kev comes down in P6, and wow, that is not good because P6 only gets you 20 points, and obviously where Julie Show is with leading, and if he wants to stretch it a little bit maybe into a possible safety car, that could be absolutely massive in terms of the championship. But you never know, things could all change here at VSL. And I'm just seeing, so the ones who still yet to do a second stop, Lewis Craig I think will definitely have to pit again. Julie Show I think will hope for a late safety car. Matt Ryan I think hasn't pitted at all, but he's not giving up, isn't he? Even though he's in 11th, he's on 38 lap old hard. He definitely wants to make it a one-stop, doesn't he?
He might try and go the entire race, put in the last lap, just show off his tire skills. But oh yeah, Albon did that. I was more referring to Paris, but yeah, Albon did in Australia a couple of years ago. Forgot that.
A year ago, actually.
I don't know. I tend to forget Australia because of the time of day it's on.
Yeah, because it is at the beginning of the year as well. Remember when we had loads of red flags this year? Oh, God, in real life, that was an absolute nightmare. But he's still going on 39 laps, whereas everyone else has already pitted. He's going to drop by a lot, but at least he's still in this race. He's still going to get some decent points, which is better than obviously what there's some people tonight who are not racing in Tier 2, of course. Bearing in mind, Tier 1 finished last week, and Glock was the one who took the championship, but it was quite early on. I think it was in round number 13 where he took the championship. So he won that one. He finished the season on 252 points, and then Mata came in second by quite a bit over Casper as well. It was 1 point in the end, but then don't forget, obviously Finley finished third in the regional cup, so he got an extra 10 points. So yeah, the gap I think was a bit more in the end, as Kev sets the fastest lap of the race so far. But is it going to be enough to catch Steven? We never know, as Depp once again, oh look at this, it's Depp versus Jack for P7. They've been fighting since I think Deck has pitted, and it doesn't matter what you throw at Deck in terms of tyres. He wants to give it his all out on the track, but he is running a bit out of battery. I think so is Jack. A bit aggressive defending from both of them, but Jack tucks in towards turn number 4. Oh, they touch wheels. They bang wheels, but luckily they stay on the track. Deck stays in 7th and Jack in 8th. And Ahmed at an N89 has gained a bit of time because of that. But let's check the penalties, actually. Oh, N89's on 6 seconds. So he needs to, I think, clear Jack Craig of 3 seconds if he wants to get P8 in this race.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Yulisho to pay. He's managing out in front. Gap to the leader. I'm just trying to think if he come. It'll actually be. So another 5 seconds for Kevrovsky will give him the position on Yulisho. So Yulisho needs to be careful of that because you're assuming Kevrovsky is putting in some big laps right now. Beaver Racer gets ahead of Lewis Craig for P3 at the moment. But yeah, we're just seeing Kevrovsky just chip away at the lead of Yulisho. Of course, realistically, the lead is excited and will probably maintain that way as we come up to the closing stages. 1/3 of the race to come. If I'm not right, as Tony has retired in the pits.
Yep, he's retired in the pit. I believe he's retired in the pits because we don't want a safety car. Please, if we get a safety car, I will die.
Oh, and Jack Craig has spawned.
I probably jinxed it, didn't I? If that was the case, I was worried I would jinx it. But if you spin around here, around Brazil, it's really hard to pretty much cool your temperatures down. So Jack needs to, I think, slow down a little bit, even though Matt Ryan's going to catch up because any movement of the throttle, and if you go normally for like a few corners, you're going to end up spinning anyway. So Jack Craig's he's got a 10-second buffer now to N89, which is not ideal because we were liking that battle between N89 and Jack Craig, but it will have to wait for a little bit longer, and we still got yellow flag set to. I do believe that's Tony's AI crawling around the circuit. And I think he's going to make it to a stop soon if it hasn't already. Gap between Julie Show and Excite as I get the tyres up again, 4.7 seconds, and it will start to close down, I think, as the race goes on. With Julie Show's tyres will start to die probably in about 10 laps or so, I think, because the memes can last quite a bit longer compared to the softs. We did see the likes of Yuri make those memes last a bit longer, so I think Julie Show is going to do exactly the same. It has quieted down, hasn't it? Unless if you're Steven, who is chasing down Lewis Craig for P4.
The role Lewis Craig actually pits as you say that.
Oh, right. My bad then.
We still got a bit of strategy to play because I'm assuming Kevrovsky will have to pit again. But I think Yulisho's only got 1 pit left in him, so that this championship is not wrapped up as Kevrovsky's doing big stand. They're on top a bit off Yulisho. The prediction at the moment is that Yulisho will finish 2nd and Kevrovsky 5th or 6th. So that might, if my maths is right, that might win Yulisho the championship if it ends like that. 2nd.
So Julie Show will be on 50 if he wins. Kev will be 5 points. So 24. So it'll be 24 points. So 50 minus 24, and I don't know who would win the America's Cup. So that'll be 26 points. So we will have to work out who's won the America's Cup as well in order to see who would get the extra points. So we will have to do the maths if that's the case. It'll be so Kev will be. I'm just trying to do the maths again. 24. So it'll be 24 points for Kev. So it's not letting me do the maths, unfortunately, for that. I thought it automatically would do it, but it's not doing it. So my bad.
It's ahead of Stephen now.
Yeah, Stephen is going to chase down Kev, and that's not what he wants. Obviously, Kev's got P4 back, so that's giving him more of a chance.
Yeah, I think he's within he's just on 22 seconds, so this lap he'll be within the pit stop of Yulisho. Well, of course, we're assuming Kevrovsky's pin again unless he does a massive stint on those soft tires. Only time will tell us. M9 finally gets off those hard tires. He's done 43 laps on the hard tires, which is a good sign for Speedway Racer at Acorn. It basically confirms that they can finish the race on their tires, so that will come into play. Speedway Racer will probably lead this race. Actually, I'm excited might finish this race on his tires. Just seeing his pace, like he's got a 17-second gap. He might even just pull the 22-second gap he needs. Coming, he's almost going to retake the lead here on Yuli's show in a couple laps time. Kevroski now in 21 seconds, so he will get ahead of Yuli's show, which, you know, if he finishes ahead of Yuli's show, we don't even need to do the maths. It'll be over at that stage, or he finishes directly behind him. We won't need to whip out the calculators, as I had to do after Portugal for the European Cup, to figure out that Acorn actually surprisingly won the European Cup because everyone else had an unfortunate day in the office.
Whereas Dak had a nice race in the office. Whereas...
Oh no, he didn't either. He was just the only one who didn't have an incident in the last few laps.
Oh, right. Whereas in Portugal in Tier 1, it came down to the final lap to decide who the European Open winner was, which was quite entertaining.
It was the same in Tier 2. It was just, again, mainly because everyone crashed because it started raining at the end. If I remember right, it started raining at the end and some people stayed out on softs, and it just went horribly wrong. But we're about to see MXI take the lead in the next lap. I'm assuming his pace just been brilliant today. And he's looking good to take this win comfortably here. Kevroski slowly gaining on Speedway Racer to take P3 off him. He'll have P3 on penalties at the moment, though, because penalties might play a factor towards the end of the race. Coming up to 20 laps to go, 25 laps to go right now, I believe.
Yep.
Before we finish this race. DRS range for the Mercedes on the Alpine. So this should be an easy enough move for MXI. I doubt Yuli Show's going to defend this. He doesn't want to lose more time to Kevroski for when he pits. He might come in right now just to avoid it. But see what his strategy is. I don't think he's coming in, I think. Nope, he's staying very out. Tight line.
Yeah, he's staying out, and Michel's going to have that DRS in towards turn number 1, but he's decided not to use it. And in terms of DRS, I think Michel's Excite's going to have some DRS, or is he not? Or is he going to be a bit patient and going to use it without anyway? You can see Julie Show is derating quite bad in towards Ticino Largo. Now, interesting point from Leroy in the chat. We saw that earlier on his soft stint, Excite did 21 laps on the soft, so he's predicting that Kev will probably do the same and do 21 laps on the softs, and then you'll probably go on to another set of softs at the end. So
yeah,
it will be double softs in.
So.
Yeah. So, a bit of a twitch from Excite.
That would have been unfortunate anyway, if he crashed out there after the race he's been having.
But he hasn't lost that much time, surprisingly.
No, he's still on DRS.
Exactly. So I think that DRS is kind of pretty much saved him in a way. But is he going to challenge Julie Show once more? He knows he has to pit again, so I don't think he's going to be that worried about not going for it yet, because the gap between everybody else is that high anyway. So he's just going to wait for the perfect opportunity. If he can't overtake on track, he can wait until obviously Julie Show pits, or they might pit roughly at the same time.
Yeah, Kevroski, I think he's going to be a bit more aggressive on this move than I'm excited. He does need to clear Speed Racer, which he's going to do before DRS is even available. Easy move for the Aston Martin driver. 18 seconds now off the lead. Still will have to pit. There's still a lot he will have to do just to seal the title. But at the moment, he is looking alright. I think he'll have to do a bit more overtaking towards the end just to seal it. But it's going to be interesting. I can't really tell how it's going to unfold towards the end. Mainly just due to him excited just having it being the head of the crop here. He's confidently going to win, which means it won't be Licho or Kevroski.
He's going to go for it. The outside this time in towards turn number 1. Can he make it stick? Oh, Julie Show is defending that quite nicely.
I think it was DRS chicken. I think it was DRS chicken from outside. He took a very wide line there.
I noticed that.
DRS chicken.
I noticed that, and I think he's going to go for it here into turn 4.
He's just flying this. I'm
Oh,
actually surprised he's flying this.
he was fighting this, but Excite with the fresher rubber and the more durable rubber is now returning the race lead with 22 laps to go of this Brazilian Grand Prix, and in 22 laps time we will find out who has won the overall championship and who has won the America's Cup, because that's still to be decided as well, because they get a prize in that as well. We may as well bring Mike in to the fray, because we haven't heard from Mike at all as well, and he said that we can bring him in at any time that he likes. So at the moment, Mike, it looks like Kev is gonna win it, but interesting developments in terms of he's gonna potentially get P2. It looks like it could still be anyone's game who's gonna get the final spot on the overall championship in P3.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in terms of what's going on in the championship right now, as you mentioned, Kev in a good position so far, but with YWIGS potentially going to the end, and obviously MX Site potentially going to the end as well, Julie Shaw and Kev will need to make a pit stop.
Yeah.
Will they have enough grip on their tyres to come back through at the end? Because they are going to lose around 23 seconds in the pit stop phase. And interestingly, this is the championship permutations, and this includes the America's Cup as well. Because Kev Rusky has a 20-point lead in the America's Cup, and if Kev Rusky finishes 4th and Julie Shaw wins the race, then Julie Shaw would overtake Kev in both championships and would walk away as the overall champion as well as the America's Cup champion.
Oh, that is interesting. Bearing in mind, I will give you a quick rundown as to what the points for the if you win first, second, or third in the championship. I nearly went into the other Discord voice channel. That wouldn't be good. 15 points for first place. So basically whoever wins the America's Cup gets an extra 15 points to their tally. Second place, 10 points. Third place, 5 points. And it can make or break your championship. It really can. So we will, again, have to do the maths. Luckily, I found a way to get the maths to be calculated automatically. So then I won't be crowning the wrong champion, which I've done before in one league. And I do not want to do it again. So thank you, Mike. We'll bring you back in just towards the end of the race where things get a bit hectic in terms of math. You can tell why I only got a C in GCSE, because I'm absolutely rubbish at maths. That's why I get Excel to do it for me. Now, Julie Show's tyres, it's around about 35% right now, and we got, this is the first time I've seen this in a while actually, that randomly the tyre performance graphic popped up on my screen. It's crazy. Julie Show's in, as I said that. There we go.
18 laps on softs.
Can be done. We saw Excite do it earlier with the 23 laps, I believe.
Oh yeah, he could definitely go to the end, but it might be a bit of management towards it. It might hurt him towards the end. I'm assuming Kev Ross is going to pit on to softs also, but they'll be nearer softs for him. But where is he going to come out? Is he going to... He won't clear his Speedway race. I think it's going to be close. Should be an easy enough move for him, which will be bad for Kev Rusky. If he does clear him easy, just behind him in P4, he has the position on track, so
yes,
he's looking nailed on for a P2 here. Just not what Kev Rusky needs. At the moment, Kev Rusky is going to be around Acorn when he comes out, I think. I think he has enough post, even has new softs on, so he'll be gaining on that time a bit. The math here, quickly, 37. Oh no, he'll have it. He'll comfortably stay ahead of Acorn, actually, so...
He will. That was close between Julie Show and Yuri towards
Good touch.
the final sector as Excite pits. So he wants to go on to softs until the end. And I'm guessing he wants to cover off Julie Show.
I'm assuming that's the strategy. Julie Show probably is stuck behind the McLaren, who's going to the end.
Julie Show,
I think Kev Rusky take the lead.
The McLaren, I think, could take the lead. Oh, Julie Show to the inside. And it's a bad camera angle, so I have to go on board shot there. That camera angle was absolute pants from Co-Masters there. There we go. But Julie Show pulls away by 8 tenths already. And he's closing up to Excite. This is going to be an interesting end to the race. I can't wait.
Where does Kwiatkowski pit now? He's a bit off camera. He's got to... These guys fight. I think MXI's made a mistake pinning here. He could have definitely gone to the end and taken a sprint. I think he's panicked, and he might have ruined a potential easy win. He's going to have to face some DRS straight unless he pulls out of it right now. Going to be tight. No, Yubicho's going to have DRS. I think it's going to be just about have
DRS, I think.
It's going to be close. It's coming up about now. Very tight. He has a just, and that's just going to... Kwiatkowski pits now. That is going to make Yuli Show's MXI's life a bit more difficult than it has to be. But where's Kwiatkowski pit now? This is going to be crucial. Lewis Craig will be ahead, but it's Acorn he needs to watch out for. If he clears Acorn, he'll be in a good position to win the championship. Waiting now. I think he's going to have this comfortably on Acorn. He'll have P5. Going to be tight. No, it's not even going to be tight at all. I think Kwiatkowski has this easily. Oh, Stephen gets ahead of Acorn.
Wow.
It's an easy. Oh, I was actually looking at M. Rhymestar, who's been lapped. That's my bad.
Yeah, It's Matt Ryan who's being lapped, unfortunately. But he's still. Actually, no, it was Deck he was battling with. It was Acorn. Matt Ryan is in towards turn 5, towards
oh, no, it's okay. That for Kwiatkowski coming out, I was like, oh, it's actually close. No, it's looking at Ryan.
Yeah. So only one driver lapped. Everyone else still on the lead lap, which is great to see.
That is good for Kwiatkowski coming out on P5. So as things stand, I think he just has his championship. It's going to be 30.
It's gonna be close because 24 points will belong to Kev if he stays where he is, and Julie Show will get 40 points. So because 20 times 2, 40 points.
So I think to win this championship, Julie Show needs to overtake MXcited.
He does.
No, Kwiatkowski doesn't move. Yeah, to win, it's simple. Unless Kwiatkowski catches up to Lewis and Speedway Racer to win this championship, Julie Show needs to win this race.
So basically, if Julie Show wins the race, he wins. Oh, Jack breaks out the race.
Oh no, never mind that. Never mind. We've got a safety car. And that has changed it completely.
That has opened the door for the likes of Lewis, Deck. They could go on fresh softs. If you're not on fresh softs, if I were you, box this lap, go on softs. Otherwise, you're going to be left vulnerable at the end of the race. Now, what happened to Jack then?
He lost it off turn 10, I believe.
Yuri unsurprisingly comes in. And Lewis comes in too. And Deck, if I were you, I would come in too. If you're...
What is going to happen here? So that puts Kwiatkowski... I think he might just have P3 here. Should have P3. It's going to be close. He needs to watch that delta.
Because that could make or break your championship if you lose out on delta as well.
Oh, drive-through will ruin it. So they're being extra cautious here. It's easier behind a safety car because you don't have to have that. You don't have like the race still kind of going live essentially.
Yes.
But I think this benefits Kwiatkowski because now he's in a better championship position. My phone battery is on the verge of death. Ooh, that is not what I want. 1 second. It's made myself my audio a bit, but I'd rather not have a dead phone. Then you won't hear me at all.
None of us wants a dead phone. We are riding on board with the Mercedes safety car, Bert Mylander. So everyone pretty much has boxed except Matt Ryan, who I believe is going to try and get his lap back, but that's not going to happen because he's a lap down anyway. So He is safety car. The only person that the safety car is not going to help is Matt Ryan. But everybody else is going to work out perfectly for them as well. And the safety car, I'm just looking at Michel at the moment in front. He was a little bit further away from the safety car than I thought. And now he's closing up to it again. That's why I was a bit confused. So probably for some drivers, they got the Delta. That's why they were going slow in the final corner.
No, they wouldn't have Delta now.
They won't have Delta now, but Excite was further away from the safety car for a little bit, but now he's back closing in because the orange light is back on. So I did see the green light because he was not catching up.
As a few cars are trying to let Ryan unlap himself, I see.
That is nice of them.
It's near impossible to do, though.
I have seen it done in a 100% race before, though. I was watching a content creator on Sunday, and they were
they're all the same Discord call, so they're all orchestrating it essentially.
No. They were all watching the same stream, and they were like, if you see a lapped car, go wide and let him pass, basically. But even then, he was still trying to catch up to everybody. So
yeah, it's near impossible to do.
And they're gonna have to do the same for Ahmed as well, because I think he's a lap down as well.
Is he? Oh, because he pitted. Yeah, he pitted.
Yeah, he pitted. So safety car's in. No, not going to happen. So here comes Michel, who's going to lead the field away. And as you're the lead commentator for this here, I'll hand it over to you for the restart.
Right. So I'm excited. Who has looked until he decided to make a third pit stop, comfortable for a win. He's got a safety car restart to deal with it. Yuli Show has got a championship win to win here. He's got Kevin right behind him, which is not what he needs. Few guys on fresher tires will be attacking them. He's going to wait to the line exactly as I'm excited. He's gone now, and he's caught out Yuli Show's a bad start for Yuli Show. Could this be a move potentially for Kev? He's not close enough, but watch out behind. Speed Racing might try to set one. But no, we're all good at the moment. 7 cars on the lead lap at the moment. 13 laps to go to decide this championship and this race. But MX has survived the first part anyway. But Yuli Show looks a bit fast on the straight. That's something I've noticed at the start of the race. He has looked a bit faster on the straights. Yellow flag in.
That's just people moving out of the way because they're lapped.
Okay. So we are good at the moment. No moves at the moment, though, between the 7 drivers on the lead lap anyway. Lewis Craig, I think, is the closest. He's potentially trying one on to Speed Racer. They both have penalties. I think they're both on 6, so they're going to hurt
Lewis Craig. He's trying to go past in towards the final sector of Jungle. They make contact.
Oh.
They make contact. Yuri, be careful with the rejoin, please. Luckily, the cars are ghosts anyway, so you can just go through. But that was questionable there. I wonder if that will be looked at between Lewis Craig and Yuri there. But
oh, definitely be looked at. It
will definitely be looked at by the stewards. But this could be, well, with Kev third, I believe that will still do enough for him to be champion, because Kev will be on 36 points, Julie Show will be on 40, so the gap will only come down by 4, if my math is correct. So, no matter what Julie Show does, as long as Kev stays ideally within this top 3.
If Kev gets a podium, he's won the championship.
Yes, he's won both championships, I believe, if that's the case.
Yeah, because I think actually, if Kev loses the America's Cup, he's lost the championship. So essentially, it's who wins the America's Cup. Let's just leave it.
Between Kev and Julie Show, if you lose the America's Cup, you lose the championship. But
it's okay. It's at the moment, it's looking like it needs to come down to a mistake from Kev Roski. 10 laps to go. Julie Show's looking to take a win here just to increase his chances anyway. DRS is now enabled. He'll have a run into turn 4 into the curve of the Soul. Try and move here. DRS will be enabled on the Alpine. He's definitely going to go for here. Lewis Craig, that's another penalty. Just dropped out. even more, and it's going to help Kevruski that bit more. So not close enough to get the move on. I'm excited he'll have to win our left straight. He's dropping down a bit actually.
He is.
I assume you're excited is using some of his Ahari to gain a bit of a gap. But they've dropped Kevruski a bit. Lewis Craig is directly behind him, and we've seen the start race. Lewis Craig is going to go for a move. Twitchy there for Yuli Show. He can't afford a mistake at this stage, otherwise that would be game over for him.
I think Julie Show's going to hope that Kev makes a mistake, just like Kev hoped Julie Show would make a mistake last week.
He needs a mistake. Lewis Craig is going to get this move. I think Kevruski's going to get out of the way. As things stand here, you'll just need to maintain the 9-second gap at this stage and not be overtaken again. And that's go, and he does.
Lewis's penalty, so I don't think Kev's going to fight too much. Yuri does get past.
He's more worried about Steven. He'll be more worried about Steven though.
Yeah, Steven is catching, by the way, 1.3 seconds. Yuri gets another penalty. So that puts him to 6 seconds, I believe. Let's just get the penalties up anyway. Hold on a minute. So we've got 9 seconds for Lewis Craig, 6 for Yuri, 6 seconds for Ahmed, and 3 seconds for Matt Ryan. Everyone else is squeaky clean with penalties. I think a lot of them did have 5 seconds penalty, which they cleared in the pit lane in the last safety car.
I actually don't think anyone has got a 5 second yet. I think it's just the same drivers picking up penalties.
I swear people had more. It's probably because the DNFers that probably had penalties.
Yeah, Jack and Tony definitely had penalties.
Oh, yeah, they did. So that was probably my bad, but we have got 10 laps to go until the end of Season 11, and this move could decide everything. Here comes Julie Show to the left-hand side, to the inside, and he gets past, but would have preferred for DRS? Well, only time will tell as they make their way towards the center S. Now, look at the gap he's pulling. Kev cannot afford to be passed by Steven now that Julie Show is leading this race. And Julie Show can't afford to push too much because otherwise his tyres will fall at an edge of a cliff. Now, as it stands, this could be...
the wire.
Sorry?
It's coming to the wire. It's going to be on Ken O'Stephen get ahead of Kevruski now.
Yeah.
As things stand.
I think it could come down to Steven and Kev, to be honest, whatever.
If you still stays in P1, yeah. It depends where Kevruski finishes.
Yeah,
I think Kevruski's out of the podium, it's over.
So he's going to finish third at the moment due to Lewis Craig's 9-second penalty. I think, yeah, it is 9 seconds.
Yeah.
So he's going to finish third. So as it stands, so obviously 50 for the winner and 36 for, my bad, 30 for, so that'll be 20 points.
That's
going to be comeback.
I'm just going to quickly jump in and say that obviously fastest lap is also available as well.
Is that 2 points or is it double point for that as well?
It doesn't matter whether it's 2 points or double points. If Kev finishes fourth for fastest lap, he wins the championship.
Oh, Kev has fastest lap.
Thank you very much, Mike.
No, I don't think anyone else.
Lewis Craig has fastest lap.
Yeah, it's Lewis. Never mind.
So I wonder if Kev wants to go fastest lap as well. And
he can't at this stage. He can't.
But look at how close it is between the likes of Steven, Yuri, and Julie Show, and Excite on overall pace.
Tires are gone.
Tires are gone, but Lewis Craig still has the upper hand, so that's why he can go quicker. And he's catching up to the top two. If Lewis Craig gets ahead of Julie Show, then he's won the championship. And obviously we saw Michelle get the lead once again.
They're going wheel to wheel. Usual retakes the lead.
Apologies that we missed the battle for the lead, by the way, a moment ago.
Kevruski's just dropping that bit more often, but he's matching the pace of O'Stephen, which is what he needs to do to win the championship. And Lewis Craig is definitely going to send them here. Lewis Craig is looking to take this on track. He still has that 9 seconds worth of penalties. MXI lets him through. He's like, I do not want to fight this. You go ahead, sir. You have 9 seconds worth of penalties. I'll still be ahead of you when the flag comes down. No bother. So Yuli Show's now looking in his mirrors at a very aggressive Lewis Craig, and Kevroski has taken about 6 tenths off. Oh, Stephen, that lap alone. He's gained it on the, actually onto the grass as I'm excited.
Oh, that's lost him a bit of time,
But
actually.
Kevroski, this might put Kevroski back on the podium. And back at, oh, this is, yeah, it's gone completely from him. Excited, who looked to have the easiest win ever, and a safety car has come out and ruined it for him. And he'll still get a podium, but he's running fourth at the moment. But that's just
That's gutting for him. I think without that safety car, that would have been an easy win for Excite.
And I think Kevroski now has the championship because now 2 cars have to overtake him.
Yeah, he does at this point. Because even with Julie Show winning, the gap will be, I think, 16 points, and the gap coming into it was 20. So
it'll be even lower because of Lewis Craig's penalty. Kevroski's P2 at the moment.
Oh yeah, Kevroski's P2. So yeah, the gap will it would only be like a 5-point gap. So as it stands, Kev will still be your champion for season 11 to add to the history books. But he's got to keep it on the track and make sure he doesn't pick up any penalties. If he picks up a penalty,
he should let Lewis Craig through here, realistically.
Yeah, for Julie Show, if I was him, let him through. He's going to fight for it. If I were him, Julie Show, don't fight for it. Because Lewis Craig has got 3 or 4 laps to make up 9 seconds, which I don't think is going to happen realistically.
No, he needs stuff to happen. Kevroski is out of his hands right now.
Now he does it.
Yeah, he's got this win realistically. It's out of his hands, the championship. It's in the other's hands if he wins this championship. Mainly Kevroski needs to make an error, but he's pulling from him excited. VR Race has got ahead of Stephen. Stephen's pace has dropped massively. It's looking more and more likely that Kevroski will win this unless he makes an error himself rather than he gets past. 3 laps to go when they cross the line the next time. Actually, 4. Yeah, 4. 4 laps to go. And who's Craig is? Jesus Christ, he is good in NASCAR. Yulishow's dropping into Kevroski. As this tire's just dropped off the cliff completely. That can happen in this game. That just one random point, they will just drop off a cliff. Kevroski might get the position on track. He might even extend his championship lead. It's fallen off Yulishow. Has there been an error on the Alpine, or is Yulishow just strategically just deciding he might just push Kevroski back into everyone else and hope they overtake him? Actually, that might be his plan. Is he just going to back Kevroski into everyone and just hope for some overtaking to happen? A reverse Carlos times in Singapore.
In terms of constructors, they get whatever they get whatever the drivers do. I think that's what it is at the moment. So
yeah, that's exactly what Yulishow is. Because look how slow he's going for these corners, and look how much the rest are gaining.
Yeah, I think Kev won this title. I think Julie Show was. I did say I was a bit worried he was pushing too much for the safety car, and Kev was just doing it at the right. He was pushing at the right time, and he's managing his tyres better. And I think Kev's going to get past to the outside line and towards turn number 1. And is he going to make it stick? Is he going to go a long way around to the outside? They can't afford to make contact. Kev doesn't get past. This is a great battle between the 2 championship protagonists. It's Julie Show versus Kev. And by the way, if we've got to fight for P3 in the standings as well, I'll bring Mike back into this as well. And I believe, if I'm correct, if Acorn finishes ahead of Stephen, Acorn gets 3rd in the championship. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. As it currently stands, Acorn will finish 3rd in the America's Cup, which obviously would give him that 5 extra points, closes that gap down. All he needs to do, though, is try and get himself ahead of Steven. 3.6 seconds, the gap, 3.5 now, but if a 3-second time penalty comes, it's game on.
It is game on, so thank you to those of you that have joined us for this titanic battle to the finish. Things could go right, things could go wrong, and we've had 4 or 5 championship protagonists going into this. 4 will come out losers, 1 will come out the winner, and at the moment it's looking like it's Kev, but he wants to get it on the road. If I was him though, I wouldn't fight for it that much. Meanwhile, Yuri gets past Excite for P4, but he's got that penalty, so I don't think Excite was fighting it too much. So if I was Kev, just stay behind Julie Show. You're going to win the championship anyway. But he's going to fight for on track. You can't afford to take that much risks. If you don't want your championship to be decided by a crash or in the stewards room. So Julie Show keeps ahead of Kev. Oh, this is going to be very exciting stuff. But
there's 1 more lap left. Is there anything left in Julie Show's sleeve? He's played every card he can. Is there one last trick for him? It's gonna take an absolute miracle. He might need some actual witchcraft in this final lap to get this championship off Kevrowski. The rest just haven't gained on them. Julie Show's been backing him up, but the rest just haven't gained as much as he needed them to. And of course, he needs 2 cars that aren't speedway races to get ahead, or the 9-second gap to come into
that's
play.
exciting.
Here's a speedway racer. 1 lap to go to end this championship, and it's looking like it's gonna be Kevrowski as we go for the ZS's one last time for the DRS.
Seamy gets a penalty.
Oh dear, Steve, and that's done it. That's done it.
So I think Deck will be third in the America's Cup, which means he'll be third in the overall championship, it looks like, at the moment. But this is our attention at the moment. Julie Show versus Kev. 2 of the best drivers in this league, and they're fighting to the death. I think it will be Kev's title, but on the road, this is great stuff. This is for the win of this race, don't forget, because Lewis Craig has 9 seconds worth of penalties, and I don't think it's going to come down to 9 seconds on the road unless one of them gets a penalty anyway. As they head towards Jungao, Lewis will go on board with Lewis. Why not? Because he's going to come across the line in first, but he's not going to finish in first. So for the final race this season, Lewis Craig comes across the line. He wins on track, but he's not going to win due to penalties. It'll be Julie Show that will be getting 50 points, but it won't be enough because Kev will get 40 points. The gap will only come down 10 points, and he would have needed to score more than that to claim the title. Kevrowski is your Tier 2 champion for Season 11, and it's your America's Cup champion as well. He has done the double, and a great job for the Aston Martin driver. Not much pressure needed in the end, really, and he delivered.
Yeah, it was looking like there's times towards the end where it looked like it was over. Julie Show looked to have it. As the start of the safety car, the pace just was non-existent for Kevrowski, but it looked like he was just managing his tires, and he's put his way through the field towards the end to get himself behind Julie Show, which is what he needed to seal the title. Julie Show tried everything. He tried to back him into the pack, but they were just too quick than the rest of the field to end up being pushed into the back into the field. So it ended up being an easy last couple laps for Kevrowski. Consolation prize for Julie Show is the win in Interlagos, but it's not a win in a race is nothing like winning the championship, which Kevrowski can say he's gone.
So that is your order for tonight then. Julie Show wins the race from 11th on the grid. He technically did a last to first, but with obviously Lewis Craig in obviously starting lower because he's a reserve, so he technically did a last to first. Brilliant stuff, but he's used to doing that anyway. So we've got Kevin second, Excite third, Lewis Craig fourth, Deck in fifth. I do believe that will mean, if my maths is correct, he will be third overall as well. So well done to him.
Unfortunately, what's called when I said that he was within the penalty of Lewis Craig, because Lewis Craig
Oh
finished
yeah,
ahead of
he's
him.
not. Good point.
Acorn will not get.
So Deck will be 4th and Stephen will be 3rd overall. Interesting. I completely forgot about that actually, but yeah. So and we may as bring Mike back into this as well, but Kev, as we've gone to F2 for some reason, but Kev, deserving champion, do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, over the course of the season, obviously when I've been able to step in for tier 2, I mean, Kev and Julie's show have absolutely been fantastic, and you know, they've been a credit now throughout the season, and both of them going back and forth. Some of them having a couple of unfortunate moments here and there, which of course Julie's show last time out in Vegas, which of course I did provide the action there for. He did DNF, so that DNF really did matter in Vegas last time out.
It did. I think without that DNF, Julie Show would have been champion. I hate being honest here, but I think that's true. And I think that's going to definitely haunt him to the end of time, unfortunately. But season 11 is done in both tiers. We know who our overall champions are for both tiers. We know who our regional champions are for both tiers. And we don't have much of a break because next week F2 starts again. So that's going to be quite entertaining. But we will come across to, of course, the man who's been here for most of this season, who's been leading the com through the entire process as well. It's been a long season, Rando, but it's been a good one.
Oh, I'm absolutely tired. I don't know how the other guys feel about that. 100% races, they are something else. Like, Kev has deservedly won the championship. It was deserving between either two of them, realistically. The show, yeah, he's going to rue that Vegas DNF, because he did, at stages, he looked comfortable for this championship, but a couple unfortunate moments, you know, just brought Kevrosky in, and Kevrosky just had that consistency. He was always up in the high ends of the points. And today, it's proven again as he takes title here today. But Yuli Show should still be happy with what he's done today. He is, you know, he deserved it as much as Kevrosky did. But there's only one championship available, unfortunately. And that championship goes to Kevrosky. But he can have the Constructors Championship to fall back on. I'm not really sure if that's much of a consolation, but Alpine do win the Constructors. I think they had that sealed.
They've got that huge margin anyway, so the Constructors have already been decided. So
yeah, they did have that sealed.
Yeah, so at least Chili Show's going to get one consolation prize. Yeah, that is it for Tier 2. That is it for Season 11. Once again, thank you to all the drivers. Thank you to all the hosts for this season. Thank you to all the stewards. Thanks to Matter for providing the graphics this season. You've been amazing. Obviously, thank you to Randa and Mike for providing the commentary for both tiers as well. It's been a pleasure to work with you both, Mike for most of it and Rando for one race and for the first time as well. And we will head off for a week and then we will head to F2. I don't know what round it is for round number 1, but we will keep in touch for that one. So for myself, Mike and Rando, have a good evening, take care, and we will see you next week for some more VSL action, but in F2 cars. Take care, bye-bye.